Hello and welcome to our chat all about lightning lanes. I am taking my family to Disney for a very quick trip here in a few weeks, and I am starting to map out our lightning lanes. We're starting to do that as a family, and I wanted to take you along on my thought process and more of the back end planning that goes on when you are planning your lightning lanes, whether you're choosing lightning lane multi-pass, whether you're adding on single pass, all of the things that go into it. So this is going to be the very first video in our series about our winter quick trip to Disney, and I'm super excited to bring you along with me. So let's get going with the lightning lanes. Do you want to go to Epcot? Ben wants to go to Epcot with us. Okay, at this point in the planning process, when you are starting to map out your lightning lanes, everything else, as far as the vacation, the bones of the vacation, they are already planned. We know our resort, that's booked. We know how many tickets we're gonna be using, those are booked. We have our transportation, we've got everything lined up, because if you are starting to talk about your lightning lanes, you're getting really close to your trip. When you are booking your lightning lanes, if you're staying on property at Walt Disney World, which we are, of course, I absolutely recommend always staying on property if you can make it happen. You are able to book your lightning lanes 7 days before your check-in, and you're able to do all of your lightning lanes for the entirety of your trip. Now, we are only mapping out one park day because we are going for a quick trip and we're only having one park day. So we have 1 day to map out. But there's still a lot of things that go into it, and this is not the only trip that we have planned for the year. And I use this same strategy for every single trip that we have, as long as we're using and planning on using lightning lanes. Because I think that's something that needs to be said as well, is you may not be using the lightning lane system, whether it's multi-pass or single pass, for every trip, because every trip looks different. Being that this is going to be a very quick trip, we are definitely going to be utilizing lightning lanes just to make sure that we get the most out of the trip in such a short amount of time. Okay, the first thing that you need to have in place when you're mapping out your lightning lanes is knowing your park day plans. If you are going on a trip that you have 4 park days, you need to know which park you're going to on which day. Now, you can have some flexibility there. Like if you are planning on park hopping, you can absolutely add in that flexibility, but you need to know which park you're starting at so that you know which lightning lane pass to purchase for each day. For example, if you are going to Epcot on your first day, you need to be purchasing your lightning lanes for Epcot because the pricing is different, and also you're not going to be able to get your lightning lanes for Epcot if you purchase lightning lane for Magic Kingdom. So make sure you have your park days mapped out. This will also allow you to be able to plan out which rides you are able to select. So for us, we're going to one park. We're doing a 1 day at Epcot. We are not park hopping. We're going to be giving Epcot our full attention, which is just a dream come true. We're so excited. So we are going to be planning on purchasing Lightning Lane Multipass for Epcot for that day. The next step here is going to be choosing your strategy. And there are going to be so many different ways that you can do this. And there's so many people that throw out so many different strategies, and they're all great. I would definitely encourage you to look at multiple different strategies. But what works for my family is choosing our top 5 plus our single pass. And what that looks like for us is we choose 3 rides. And this is really convenient because I have 3 kids, so each child chooses a ride. Then we choose 2 experiences. So this is going to be something that does not require a lightning lane. And I know that we're talking about lightning lanes here, but this is an important piece when it comes to like mapping out your park days, and lightning lanes are a part of that. So 3 lightning lanes, 3 rides, then we choose 2 experiences, and then we choose 1 single pass. And the reason that I like to add the single pass on there as a separate have like a separate piece to the plan is that you can pretty much guarantee that you're gonna get your single pass that you want, and you're paying for that specific single pass. So for the most part, you can guarantee that you're gonna get that. Now, if you're traveling during a super busy season, like the week between Christmas and New Year's or spring break, you may have a little bit more difficult time getting the ideal time or even getting the Lightning Lane single pass. Sometimes they do sell out, but for the most part, I would imagine that you'd be able to get those single pass. And for Epcot, the Lightning Lane single pass is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. So we do have that on our list. Now, when we're talking about my specific family, what experiences we are choosing, I want to share that with you so that you can have a little sneak peek into our plans. And here's the key word, plans, because our plans very well could change based on availability and also based on how my family and I continue to talk through these plans up until the day where we can actually make our lightning lane selections. And I think that flexibility there is super, super important, especially for modeling that to your children, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I have my little notebook here, and so I'm going to be referring down to that so I can show you exactly what lightning lanes my family is choosing. When you are booking your lightning lanes, you have for Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios, you can choose 1 Tier 1 ride and 2 Tier 2 rides, and those are broken down into different categories based off of the popularity of the ride. So for our Tier 1 ride at Epcot, we are going to be choosing Test Track. This has been recently reimagined, and my boys are super, super excited about being able to go on Test Track. And we want to do our best to make that happen. So our first Tier 1 is going to be Test Track. Now, our second lightning lane, our second lightning lane choice is going to be a Tier 2 ride, and it's going to be Spaceship Earth. Now, I know that this is probably controversial. A lot of people may not like this ride, but we love it. The nostalgia, the smell, Rome burning, I mean, come on. So we love Spaceship Earth, and it was Landon, one of the twins, his favorite ride for a very long time. Now he is more of a thrill-seeking kind of guy, so he has graduated from Spaceship Earth, but we still do love to add it into our ride lineup. We love it. So that is a must-do for us. Spaceship Earth is going to be selection number 2, and then selection number 3 is going to be, right now we have a tie. We can't decide, and that's why I'm like, I thought I was gonna be able to go into this and be able to like have this gut instinct of like, it needs to be this one. But we're going back and forth between 2 really stellar rides. Number 1, Living with the Land. If you know, you know. I love that ride. It is so amazing. We're tied between Living with the Land and Finding Nemo. And we love Finding Nemo. And granted, my kids are 7, 7, and 12. And these are not like super thrill rides. And they're not, if we're looking at it for what it is, they're not anything like spectacular, but we love them. They're good over and over again. And also, so the thing that is really drawing us to Living with the Land, my boys just know how much I love it, and so they really want to do that for me. But another thing is with Living with the Land, it's such a nostalgic thing for us. It's something we do every trip, and so they're like, we have to be able to do it. We have to do it. So we're going between Living with the Land and then Nemo. We love Nemo because afterwards you get spit out into this giant aquarium, and my kids could spend hours in that aquarium. We love it too. It's so fun. It's so neat. You get to just walk around, and it's not going to be hot when we're down there, but if it is hot, it's a great break from the heat. So the Seas with Nemo and Friends is a really good option too. So we're kind of going back and forth between those 2. I'm going to keep talking with the kiddos up until the time where we need to be making our lightning lanes, and it may be a game time decision as well. I'm not sure. But those are going to be our 3 rides. So the first thing that we're doing is locking in our 3 lightning lane multi-pass selections. Then we move on to our experiences. So we are going to Epcot during Festival of the Arts, which might be my favorite festival. I just love it, and I don't really know what about it I love so much, but it's just so happy. I do love Flower and Garden too. I love them all. I do love them all, but Festival of the Arts is just an extra special one. This year, we're doing something completely new to us. And we were looking through the festival offerings, and we noticed that there's some kind of scavenger hunt, if you will, focused around the Disney Lorcana cards. And if you or your kiddos are interested in Lorcana cards or any kind of trading cards, I mean, my kids are big into like Pokemon cards, and now Carter, my oldest, is getting into the Lorcana cards. This is going to be something that we're super excited about. And I've never done it before, and I think it might be new this year. Maybe it's not, don't quote me on that, but I've never seen it, and it may just be that we've never been interested in it, but I've never seen it before. I'm super excited. There's some kind of like, you search for them, and then you get like an exclusive card at the end, and we're all for these rare cards. I don't know anything about it, but my husband leads the way with that, thank goodness. But there's some kind of rare card or two that you can get. So that is at the top of our experiences list. We have to make that happen. So that is going to be our first experience. And then our second experience is something that I am throwing in there because my kids have never done it. I don't even think my husband has done it, but it's so much fun. So there is a mural, like a giant long mural that is spread out inside of Epcot during Festival of the Arts. And it has these little like squares that are numbered, and you can go up to this little mural painting situation, and they hand you a cup and some paint and a little paintbrush, and they give you some numbers, and you can go in and like paint the numbers, and you can help to paint the mural, and it's up the whole Festival of the Arts, and once it's completed, they put a new one up. It's such a unique experience that like you have a part in something that's so big, and it's so fun. My kids love anything art, and I mean, it's not anything, you don't have to be like artistically inclined to do this. You're literally painting squares, but it is really cool to see it come together, and it's something that I think would be fun to add. So we're gonna add that to our experiences list. So far we've got our 3 rides, we've got our 2 experiences, and then our single pass. Now, this is only gonna apply to 3 out of the 5 of us, because the single pass at Epcot is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, and that is a beast of a coaster, and my equilibrium does not allow me to ride Guardians of the Galaxy. Unfortunately, I would love to, but it would be a day ruiner for me because I get very bad motion sickness and I get dizzy standing up. So that's a no-go for me. And unfortunately for my little Luke, he also does not do well with coasters and motion sickness. So he will be sitting that one out with me, and we will probably go and look at something, whatever he wants to do, while the other 3, my husband Cameron, my oldest Carter, and Landon, while they are riding Guardians of the Galaxy. So we're gonna purchase the single pass for them, and then Luke and I are gonna go do a little bonus mom and Luke time at Epcot while they're riding that. So that is the overall gist of what my family is planning on doing at our day at Epcot. And I know that none of the information that I've really provided is Lightning Lane specific. Some of it is, but this was not meant to be a, let me teach you how to use Lightning Lanes. This is more so sharing what we're doing as the start of the series for our super exciting quick trip. With that being said, there's a lot that goes into Lightning Lanes, and I have a lot of knowledge up here and a lot of experience booking Lightning Lanes, both for myself and for clients. But if you are feeling overwhelmed with Lightning Lanes, which it's very likely because it's a very overwhelming type of thing, I would really encourage you to find a travel agent that you connect with and someone that you trust. If you are looking for a travel agent that would be able to help you navigate this, I would absolutely love to connect you with one of our Simple Magic travel agents. When you book your trip with Simple Magic, it is completely complimentary to you. It's included in the price of your vacation. You pay nothing extra. We have a giant guide to Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and Single Pass, all of the guides to Lightning Lanes. I will put a picture of it here, and this is something that all of our clients that are traveling to Walt Disney World, they get access to this. It has a breakdown of all of the rides that are included, step-by-step processes, and how to actually purchase your Lightning Lanes, all of these Q&A suggestions, and it has sample itineraries, it has planning resources, which is where I print out our top 5 planning resource. So that helps me map out our Lightning Lane selections and in a really clear and organized way so that I'm not just like jotting it down on paper. So that guide is incredibly helpful if this is your first time, your second time. I mean, at any point, I still reference it because I know a lot of things, but I can't keep up with all of the changes and making sure that I am going into my Lightning Lane day as prepared as possible. I'm constantly referring back to this guide. So using this guide is a game changer for families, myself included. Okay, another thing. Here are some things that I have to say. When you are planning your Lightning Lanes for your family, please, 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 if you take anything away from this video, please let it be this: be flexible. Okay, be flexible. Go into your Lightning Lanes knowing that the Lightning Lanes themselves are not your vacation. The Lightning Lanes are not the memories that you're gonna make. What really makes your vacation stand out is everything else. If you don't get the ride selections that you want, I really, really encourage you to look past that, because there are so many other incredible things that are happening all around Walt Disney World that do not in any way, shape, or form refer or include a lightning lane in it. Have an open mind, be flexible, bring the joy into your vacation. That is my big, huge motto for all of our planning, is plan for joy in the small moments, in the big moments, in the lightning lanes, in the standing in the 30-minute line to wait to meet the characters. Find the joy in that, because those are the moments that are going to stick out, not which lightning lanes you got at 7 a.m. when your window opened. I promise you that. I really encourage you to focus on the in-between, focus on the journey. And it sounds so cliche that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, but truly it's not about the lightning lanes. It's not about if you can hit Test Track Frozen and Remy in one day. It's about all of the little things that make your vacation super special. So please, please, please do not get lost in the lightning lane shuffle. Focus on the joy and the small things in your vacation. The next thing that would be really helpful is having a rough plan of what you're gonna do after you scan in to your first lightning lane, because a lot of people miss this part. A lot of people think, I've got my first 3 lightning lanes, I've got my single passes, I am ready to go, and then you scan into your first lightning lane and you're like, okay, now what? So as soon as you scan into your lightning lane, when you get into the park, and I recommend you getting it as early as possible, you scan into that lightning lane, what are you doing next? What's your next move? For us, it's gonna be Frozen. We love Frozen. I have all boys. That ride is so fun. We love it. We didn't do it until one of our most recent trips, and it was so fun. So we're definitely gonna do Frozen. I'm gonna still be talking with the boys. We already have a plan of like what our next priorities are, but definitely keep that loose as well, because Frozen might be sold out because it's very popular and it's tier 1. So having a rough plan for what you're going to do after you scan in, very important, so that you're not fumbling as you are racing through that lightning lane queue. And the last little tip that I'm going to add, and this is something that I had to learn the hard way right when this new lightning lane multi-pass system launched with my own personal trip. When you select your lightning lanes in the app the morning of, 7 days before you check in, you can change the return times. So just because it spits out a Slinky Dog at 2:20, that does not mean that that is the only time available, and that does not mean that that's the best time available. I would absolutely recommend you shifting that time. You can go and edit the times, and you might be able to get a Slinky Dog at 10 o'clock. And that would definitely be a better option for a lot of families than that 2:20. So I recommend looking at the timing and not just going with the first one that it spits out, because you can often stack your days in a way that will serve your family a little bit better, rather than having things spread out or having everything in the afternoon. So yeah, that would be a really great thing to consider and be ready for when you're making your lightning lane selections at 7 a.m. Okay, well, that is all I have for our lightning lane prep video, if you will. I am super, super excited for the rest of this series. This is gonna be my first full series of taking you through pretty much every process of mapping out our trip. So I'm going to be doing some packing videos. I'm going to be doing a whole trip reveal video, because we're doing a lot of new things, and I'm very excited about it. But I'm going to be doing a lot of those, and of course once we get down there I'm going to be doing those park vlogs. So very excited to be chatting about all of these things and doing a whole series. If you like what you see, and if you want to stick around, I would love to have you. Please hit that subscribe button so that you can see all of the other things that we're going to be doing, all of the adventures we're going to be going on. I share a lot of our family adventures, and I also share my work adventures as well, because I do co-own a travel agency, Simple Magic Travel Company, and I travel a lot. So that's all I've got for today. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.